Hello, Richard.
Hey, Alan.
Hey, Richard. How are you doing?
Well, we're doing pretty good considering. It's been a long day. Been sort of sitting in the same spot trying to contact everybody and answering questions and reading comments and doing interviews and things like that. It's it's a big thing to put the brakes on.
Yeah, for everybody that's tuning in, I'll be putting this up online shortly. This is Music on the Menu podcast. I've been doing them for 3 weeks now throughout COVID-19, this whole situation that we're going through. And this is one that I anticipated that we might be doing, but I was in the back of my mind hoping that we wouldn't, or if we were, that we would be talking about the festival coming up. I'm on the line with us is Richard Briggs, the founder, organizer, and the main man behind the Briggs Farm Blues Festival, which began in 1998 and announced earlier this morning, just a few hours ago, that he had to cancel this year's event. So, Richard, thanks for taking some time on this difficult day. You just said prior that you were spending your morning, I guess, making a lot of calls, reaching out to artists, I assume, and handling some media requests and so forth.
Yeah, and to our audience and all the people who've been
the
involved in this, like yourself and everyone who's been supporting us for so long, they're very important to us. So I wanted to let everybody know, and we were holding out hope,
Yeah, I know. I talked to you a few weeks ago, and you still weren't ready to make this move, but
yeah. So and also, we're a farm family. We don't give up easy. We know what it's like to work in rough conditions, and we knew we could hold out till right before, a month and a half or 2 months before the festival and pull it all together, no matter what. So, but it's just become apparent that for a large gathering like ours, there was no way that we could or want to enforce, even just having people wear masks or staying 6 feet apart or, cleaning. We have 100 porta potties. How are we going to keep them clean? It just wasn't, logistically, we're not going to be quite there yet. And we hope that, by July at least we'll be able to go to restaurants and bars and sit down with people, let alone, going to something like a large gathering like this. And one of the things that, made us realize that it probably won't happen is we were looking at a video from last year with on YouTube with our audience and Vanessa Collier walking around playing her horn in the audience, and everybody's close together, really having a good time, dancing and smiling, and we just realized it wasn't going to happen this year. So
your event is a very sort of earthy, organic, communal type event. It was going to be a tough one, and when we saw last week when the governor announced when the phases and so forth, it certainly looked like Northeast Pennsylvania was going to be towards the end of that.
The end.
And that events like yours would be at the end of that.
At the end of that.
Yeah.
So
I had a feeling I was going to be hearing from you.
Yeah. Well, we're going to be in talks with people in Harrisburg and seeing if, what's the best way to go forward. And we in addition to doing our festival, we've done a lot of other stuff in live music, and we support live music in any way we can. So
sure.
It's if we can get people into the breweries listening to live music, that'll at least help support some of the musicians and our spirit, So we'll be doing that.
I read your official post this morning, and basically it sounds like you're making it so easy for your fans and your the patrons. They can just hang on to their ticket and use it next year, or if they're in a tight spot and they get a few bucks back right now, they can do that as well, right? It's up to them, right?
Yep, and all that information's easy to get online, and we sent out as much as we could today to notify everybody that we're going to ask people to keep their tickets for next year and their reserve campsites and all the other stuff that they've been so generously responsive for. And if they need their money back, if they want a refund, that's not a problem. We'll take care of it at any time.
You've got so many artists on the bill, and your press release basically also said that initially moving forward, your plan as of now is to keep the 2020 lineup pretty much the same for next year too, right?
Well, not only was it like our best lineup to date, as we're really excited about it. A lot of great things, a lot of great bands, and they all want to play too.
Sure.
So we've had initial talks up until this point, and then we'll firm all those up. You know, I've been talking to agents and saying, you know, this is what, if we have to cancel, we want to do it again next year with the same bands. So, and that's what they want to do too. They all want to play here, and I contacted Brett this morning, and hopefully he'll be in better shape, and it'll be safer for him anyhow. And Brett will be doing our Thursday night. We were doing like we were planning, and also Miz, and and then from there on we'll just do our best to have the same lineup.
Brett last year helped lead a terrific group of musicians through a set. We're talking about Brett Alexander, for those that are listening, formerly the Badleys, Gentleman East, a very well-known musician here in the area. And Brett last year led a group of musicians through a set to honor the 50th anniversary of Woodstock. And this year he was planning to do a set from 1970. So did we lose the 1970 set, Richard? Or
I don't know yet.
71 set next year. So maybe we should let him combine them.
Maybe we'll have to do both because 1970 was a fantastic year. I mean, there are more new releases in 70 than 69, and just fantastic music. And Grateful Dead did put out 2 albums that year. Yeah. So Miz was going to do his set in between Brett's 2 sets from the 70s, and I think we could do that. It's 50 years. We could do both years or whatever. We haven't figured that out.
We got a lot of time to figure that out. I mean,
too much time.
When you go through something like this, some of the people that I started doing these podcast interviews 3 weeks ago because I wanted to talk to people on all ends of the music scene community, about how they're handling this. So I've been talking to musicians, record store owners, producers, Will Beekman from the Arena, AJ Jump from Carl Hawk, club owners, and just the logistics of having to move events around. How many artists did you have to reach out to over? I guess you made this decision, before this morning, probably within the last few days.
Yeah, no, I haven't talked to everybody yet, actually, but. We usually finish our lineup around 20 different acts, 20 to 22 different acts. Mm-hmm. We usually finish by the beginning of February. And then these are acts at this level, anyhow, that they probably had their whole summer and fall booked by now. So it's not like we could move an event up a month or two. So because they'll have those dates that they're touring too. Plus, we have acts coming in from the West Coast. One from Portland and one from Los Angeles. That all the other major festivals are shut down. So, for them to fly out just for one festival would be, wouldn't make sense for them financially. So that the whole touring aspect of the major bands and then the local bands, they're really stuck. A lot of them are really depending on all the gigs that they get and that's all of a sudden gone. It's tough.
Yeah.
So one of the things we're doing, I don't know if it really financially helps much, but we're going to be showcasing. Just a Mazer will be coming up this weekend, and we did Sean Welsh from National Reserve and also Miz as a live show.
They're going to do this. I know. I saw the promotion of the stream. I saw Justin Mazer had promoted his. I think that's Friday night, correct?
Yeah.
Now, is he going to do that from Briggs Farm? Or
no,
sharing that on your page?
Yeah, so the idea is for them to do it, in the safety of their own home or studio, like a lot of people are, and then we connect to our audience. So it's like a way for them to communicate to our audience, and our audience can see what they're going through and talking about. So we're working with some of the people from this year's festival, but also people who are favorites from the festival over the last 22 years, like Alexis P. Suter. She's going to be doing one, and Vanessa Collier, and just anybody that is interested in doing. And then they can put up their virtual tip jar that goes through PayPal or something like that. I don't know how big that is for people, but it's important.
Well, I've seen some other venues doing that, like the Mohegan Sun Arena and Carl Hall, and some of the other music venues in the area. They're kind of getting organized and helping these webcasts reach an audience, rather than them just doing it from their personal page, doing it with a venue that they have a nice affiliation with. And so I think that's terrific that you're doing that. You have 25 years of, you're going back to 1998, so 22 years of alumni to choose from, and so we'll look forward to watching those and we want to stay in touch with our audience too, which we try to all year long. So this is just a way for us to not just disappear. So we don't want to do that, and we have big plans for this year too. In addition, just logistically, we're moving both of our stages and rearranging, making more room for people to fit in, and doubling the size of the main stage and things like that. And so that'll give us more time to get that done this summer, because we're in. All those physical things that we normally do are shut down. We can work here on the farm, but to connect with everything else all the supplies and everything else we need has been difficult. So, well, you had mentioned the musicians coming from the West Coast and lost, and I mean obviously the paramount thing here that we're all keeping our mind on are the incredible loss of lives that this virus has taken in our country. You're looking at, possibly peaking at, 100,000 people or so, and the medical workers and the frontline people. But for musicians, for event people like yourself, I mean, the economic ramifications are devastating. This is a big part of their income for the year to go out and play these festivals, and for a family like yourself, this is important to you financially. And so I just feel I'm just heartbroken for everybody. When I saw your text this morning, my heart sank. I knew it was coming. But
well, that's one of the reasons we didn't want to do it, because we know people need hope. So and we gotta nip this thing and just do everything we can so that it doesn't come back fierce in the fall, like some people are thinking, and then we got to deal with this next summer too. So, So right.
One way to look at it.
I think actually we'll get through, and everything will be better by the summer.
I do too. Yeah. Well, Richard, I feel like I did a story about this festival in 1998 when you did the first one, and a bunch of articles about it, and had you on the radio show every year, and you've been kind enough to ask me to help MC some of the acts. I feel like I've lost a big part of my summer, and I know a lot of us do. And I just wanted you to know that we're all thinking about you and Allison and your family and your fans and your patrons and your artists, and we look forward to you giving us a great festival next summer.
Yeah.
We'll be there with bells and whistles.
Yeah, thanks. And at this point, it's just a matter of everybody being healthy and making it through, and then everything else will work out.
Yeah, we'll get through this. We'll get through this. Richard, thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Please send your best to Allison and the family, and we'll be in touch, and we'll help promote those webcasts and streams on the Music on the Menu page for you. We'll
sure.
help get the word out.
Thanks.
All right, thanks, Richard.
Talk
Hang in
to you
there.
soon. Bye.